Welcome to the Gym and Tonic Podcast. I'm your host, Shanae Kunsa from SK Bodyworks, and this is a space where self-development meets holistic health. This podcast will help you create transformation from the inside out, blending all things mindset, healing, habits, energetics, spirituality, health, fitness, and nutrition. And through these episodes, I'm going to help you activate your highest self and create a life that feels as good as it looks, mixed in with some laughs, a few F-bombs, and a whole lot of truths that your soul has been craving to help you evolve, expand, and align with your highest potential. So let's dive in and step into your next evolution. Hello, beautiful soul, and welcome back to the podcast. I feel like I say this every single fucking time to say that I'm so excited for today's episode, but I actually am. I feel like I just literally had this creative surge of energy, and I'm like, I need to just jump on the podcast and record an episode. So anyway, so here I am. I haven't really got too much planned, and I'm just gonna allow wisdom. I just had a brain fart then, but allow wisdom to literally flow from me and through me for today's episode. And what I really want to talk into today is picking and choosing a word for 2026. So I'm going to talk a little bit into why it is so important to choose a word, like what the importance behind choosing a word is, and how you can kind of choose a word for 2026 to even give you kind of like some reflective and intentional prompts to help you know what this word is going to be for your next year ahead. I'm also going to share a little bit about kind of like my journey with this, and last year, so the end of 2024, for 2025 was the first year that I actually chose a word for the year. And I'm going to share a little bit about like what my words for this year were and what my words for next year are. And I say words because I actually set two words because I couldn't just feel set on one. So I'm going to share a little bit about kind of, that journey and what that's really looks like for me. And then I'm also going to share a little bit about how you can kind of really put a bit of an action plan kind of in place to allow you to really embody and actually take action on this, not just be some kind of thing that you just like set and forget and never come back to, right? So let's start with like why choose a word for the year. And first I'm going to talk about the power of intention, because intention is so powerful. Like, intention is energy in motion, and words literally carry frequency. And when you choose a word like consciously, you really like attune your, I guess, behavior, your nervous system and choices to that frequency, right? It's almost like you can think of it kind of like setting an energetic theme for the year, right? It's kind of like a guiding principle that you can use for the year ahead. It's like really about like what the energy that you want to embody in 2026 is. And the word should essentially represent, like I said, a theme or an intention or an energy that you want to focus on throughout the year. And it's not necessarily a goal as such, but more of, like I said, like a guiding principle that helps you stay in alignment, right? And aligned with your values, your goals, and, even your priorities, and what you say is really important to you, right? And it can be so powerful to create, I guess, more clarity and intentionality. Oh my God, that rhymed. Clarity, intentionality in your life, right? And it can really help you stay focused on what matters and what is actually important to you, and really provide you with something to come back to when you're maybe feeling a little bit unaligned, or maybe you're feeling a little bit lost or stuck or overwhelmed, or like you've maybe, fallen out of alignment with like what truly matters to you, right? So intention is so powerful. And when you set a word for the year, it really becomes like an anchor, right? Anchoring you into what is important for you, right? Anchoring you into the energy that you want to embody and the things that you want to embody. It really creates that, that energetic direction rather than, having a set, specific, rigid goal or structure for something. It's like a guiding energy that's not, super zoomed in and focused. It's like a guiding principle that you can use and take into all aspects and, areas of your life, right? And so the other thing is like the why behind why you should choose a word. Oops, I forgot to put my phone on silent. I'm just going to do that right now. I'm sorry if that literally just bursted your eardrums. I'm not even going to edit this out. I'm going to be totally unapologetic about it. But yes, another why behind it is like, it's something that's so simple, but like also so transformative. Like instead of having, goals that, for a lot of people, they probably don't have a really, what's the word I'm looking for? A really transformative like goal setting process. Like for a lot of people, goals actually create more pressure. So like it's so simple by setting a word and it kind of like releases that pressure. There's not too much of a high expectation or that expectation on ourselves, that unrealistic expectation, right? A word creates almost like, I guess you could say, identity-based alignment, right? It's a word that reflects the identity that you want to step into and embody, right? And the question really becomes like throughout the year, as you're moving throughout your year and as you move throughout, 2026, it's coming back to time and time again. Is this aligned with my word? Is this action or is this choice or this decision or whatever it might be, is it aligned with my word, right? It's that guiding principle. And it, like I said before, like it's something that when you do feel maybe lost throughout the year, it's a word that can bring you back to your center, right? And really having that, again, that clarity and that intentionality, right? So I'm going to start by sharing a little bit about my words, and then I'm going to talk to you about how you can choose your word and even give you some like reflective kind of like questions and prompts to really help you with that as well. So my words, and I say again words because I picked two. I couldn't set it's just step one. So my words for 2025, so for this year, were intention and flow. And I really like these words. I feel like these words almost chose me. Like I really tuned into my intuition and what I felt like and knew needed changing in my life at that point. And first I'm going to tell you a little bit like what these words actually mean to me, because it's also so important to define what these words mean for you in the process of setting a word, because happy to someone may mean happy like completely something different to someone else. So it's really important to define what this word means for you. So yeah, like I said, my words were intention and flow. So intention to me really meant, I guess, like having intention behind my actions and, everything or, most things that I do or that I did, I guess. And to really support me in mastering my time and my schedule, as well as really spending my time with intention, like ensuring my actions were aligned with my values, my goals, my priorities, and my desires, right? So being really intentional with how I spent my time is really what that word meant for me. And then when I think about flow and like what this word really meant to me at this point in my life, because I feel like even since then, like these, oh my God, an alarm going off, sorry. These words at that point in my life, like to where I am now, like a year later, like I've evolved so much as a person, as have these, like the embodiment of these words. So they, even like if I was to tell you my meaning of them now, I would, have a little bit of a more evolved definition of what these words mean to me. So flow to me really meant at this point when I was setting these words was like, having flow in my life, in my work, in my schedule, in my business, and really embodying more feminine energy to really, I guess, spark and allow creativity to flow with a sense of ease. So really moving away from like that pressure and that force and that do, and, you know, that hustle burnout kind of mentality that I was, you know, had done a lot of work around at that point as well. So that's what my words were for 2025, for this year, right? And even like just, sorry, before I move on from that, like thinking about that like further, like intention as well, like I wanted to move from like autopilot to conscious awareness and choice, and like present decisions and aligned energy. And like with the flow, it's like I really wanted to soften and release, like I said, that pressure and stop the forcing and really just trust in my innate power within and my feminine energy, not, you know, being in my masculine, because like I've been in my masculine energy and had been in my masculine energy for like all of my life up until, you know, literally like the last year, right? And they, by choosing those words for the year, honestly shaped my experience this year in 2025. And like I said, that intention is so powerful. Intention is energy in motion, right? And honestly, like if I was to reflect on this last year, I did not realize how many fucking layers, patterns, and like old identities that I've had to release to be able to embody these words. Like I learned lessons around slowing down, even deepening my self-trust, and really creating structure that didn't kind of cage me, and like creating these, I guess, masculine structures that allowed my feminine to flow within that, right? And because, you know, these energies that we embody, masculine and feminine, are, you know, not necessarily like male or female, like the energies that we embody, right? And it is so important to have harmony with these energies, because when they're out of balance, you know, if we're too in our masculine, you know, we reach a point of burnout. And, you know, if we're way too much in our feminine, again, we don't have that masculine structure. So they are so deeply important to have that harmony with them. And, yeah, I really learned these lessons, and it really helped me like recognize where I was forcing like versus like allowing or flowing. And I, you know, am so proud of how far I've come this year with embodying these words. And like, I truly do feel like these words like are embodied now. Like I feel like they're integrated in my life. And, you know, even thinking about me in a year's time, like I know that there's going to be an even deeper level of embodiment around these, because I feel like if I was to think about flow, it's like, you know, I've come so far with that this year. I feel like though, if I think about the next year ahead, I know there's more layers to peel back to allow me to even deeper embody this. Because it's not like you get to this one point in life and you're perfectly healed and perfectly happy and joyful and all those amazing sorts of things. Like it doesn't work like that. It's like you do the work and you know, uncover those layers and create more ease and clarity and joy and happiness in your life. But it's like there's not one place that you get to and it's like, oh, I've made it and I'm perfect and I don't need to do anymore. Like this is evolution. This is why we are humans living this human experience, because we're here to evolve and, you know, transcend the barriers and the things that are really holding us back. So yeah, my words that I have actually chosen, which was actually something I did just last week, I sat down and was like, what do I want for 2026? What do I want to embody? What energy do I want to guide my year based on my vision and where I want to go and my goals and, you know, all those sorts of things and where I'm really at within myself and my life, right? And the words that I chose for 2026, again, I chose two because I couldn't just choose one. So my words were I should say, regulation and receive. And I am going to speak a little bit about the energy behind both of these and I guess kind of like why I chose these words and what they mean to me. So regulation, like to me, this really means like nervous system safety, like choosing and I guess embodying like grounded peace and presence over like, survival, rush, pressure, or urgency. Like it is my foundation. Like it's the state that I lead from, both, personally and professionally. It's like, the baseline that I operate from at a core, and it's a core value in, my life and also in my business. And, when I am regulated, like I don't move from that force, that push, that hustle, that overwhelm, or like overworking. I move from like right relation. I move from alignment and intention and desire. Because when you move from desire, like side note, but when you move from desire, that creates energy. When you move from force or lack or scarcity or pressure or urgency or insert, thing, it drains your energy. And so regulation to me is really like a portal to expansion. And the safer my nervous system feels, like the more that I can receive, and like everything flows from there, right? So that's really what regulation means for me, and like the vision that I have, like the level of embodiment that I have for like the vision of level of embodiment I have for next year, right? And receive, like to me, this really means like opening my energy and my heart and my body and my life to be supported. It's like it's softening into the truth that I don't need to, like I said before, like force or chase or control or resist or overextend myself to experience, wealth, abundance, or success. Like receiving is an act of trust, like trust in myself, trust in the divine timing of my life, and, alignment and like the path that is unfolding for me. Like it's the energy that allows life to meet me halfway. Like it's not me, striving to get somewhere. It's life meeting me where I'm at, and really softening into, again, like that deeper level of feminine energy to receive, right? And it's like, it's letting opportunities find me, like letting support in, letting success feel fucking easeful, like letting guidance flow, and just really letting myself be held by life, like being in such a state of like receivership, and that like really meaning like me being a match for the things that I desire, like being a magnet for what I desire, and not chasing, attracting, and just allowing myself to surrender and really become a magnet for miracles and money. And receiving is, like I said, like it's a frequency, and it's the energy that I create from being regulated, grounded, and open. Like that is really what, receive, like that word means to me at this point of my journey. And like those two words are the guiding principles and, the words that I'm choosing for 2026. And now I feel like you've probably heard enough of me and my words for 2025 and for 2026. I'm going to chat a little bit around, I guess, how you can choose your word. So you already know like why it's important to choose a word, and kind of like, what that should look like. It's really the guiding principle that helps you stay in alignment with what's important to you, with your goals, your values, your priorities, your intentions, right? So a couple of things that you can do and a few steps here. So number one is really reflect on your past year. Like think back through, the whole of 2025. Like what felt heavy? Like what felt good? Like what did I crave more of in 2025? And what do I want more of in 2026? And like, even like another level of reflecting is like, what kept coming up as a lesson, right? Like what patterns and behaviors kept surfacing, and what were these lessons? Like what kept coming up here? So really reflecting on the year to really notice that common theme of, what felt heavy, what felt good, what's, identifying where you're moving from and where you're moving into, right? And reflection can be so powerful, because if you don't actually reflect on your journey, and I was actually talking to this into this with a client on our 1-1 mindset coaching call today, and we were talking about reflecting, and she gave me a situation that she it was something that happened in her day yesterday, and she was really struggling with it. And what we actually did on our coaching call was actually reflect on that. And when I mirrored back to her what I was seeing, it actually opened her mind and perception up like so powerfully. And she realized from reflecting on that situation that what she thought was a big fucking failure was a fucking huge success. Because I feel like women are so trained to focus on what's not working and the challenges and the barriers and the things that aren't good enough, that we don't even see the things that we fucking are doing and what the wins are, right? So when we were actually able to reflect on this and I was able to be a mirror for her and reflect back to her what I was seeing, it allowed her to shift her whole fucking mindset and perspective and be like, holy fuck, like breakthrough, right? So that is the power of reflecting. You can actually reflect and you can also extract the lesson from that. So then next time you can actually do something differently so that you can produce a different outcome. Because I always say this, it's like if you keep taking the same action, you keep getting the same result, right? And even just for a moment on this, like while I'm talking about this, like, you know, thinking about approaching, you know, we're coming to the end of 2025 into 2026. Like, if you keep taking the same action, 2026 is going to look the fucking same as 2025. You need to do something differently if you want different outcomes in your life. So let that be a sign not to allow 2026 to be the same as 2025 was in terms of, you know, the things that weren't working and that were holding you back and that were barriers. And yeah, so reflecting is so powerful. So that's the first step to choosing your word. Reflect on the year that was. The second step that I want you to do when you're choosing your word for 2026 is visualizing the highest version of you for 2026. So really think about and envision, how do you want to feel? Like, what energy do you want your life to operate from? Like, when you say life, like whether that's your finances, your relationships, your health, your business, your career, like, you know, whatever area of life that is, like, what energy do you want in your life? And you know, even thinking about as well, when you envision this highest version of you for 2026, like, what do you want to embody more consistently? What do you want more of in your life? Like, when you think about the most ideal, highest, healthiest, happiest version of you, what does she do? How does she show up? What do you want to embody that she already embodies, right? Like, you have to be to become. So really identify what it is that you want to embody more consistently, right? So that can be that guiding principle to help you choose your word. And the third step to this that I'm going to give you is identifying your theme. So like that guiding principle, that guiding energy, right? So really like choose a word that threads almost like the entire vision together, right? And it may not be forcing this word to come to you. Maybe it's letting the word find you. Like, often like it's a feeling or a knowing, not like a goal, right? It's like maybe you already know deep within you and it just takes some unraveling of that and clarity and, you know, quietening the noise to come, you know, truly grounded and centered within yourself to be like, I truly know this is what I want to do more of. And, you know, let that word find you. Don't force it unless you already know and have that deep inner knowing that, you know, that word is what your word is for 2026, right? So really identify, you know, your theme, right? And, you know, the final step with this, which can be like, I guess like an optional step, because like I said, I couldn't pick one word. I felt like I needed the two. So if you are also feeling really called to have two, just let that be okay. If you have one, that's also perfect. Like, you know, sometimes two words can actually, you know, complement each other and create like a, you know, you could almost say like a fuller energetic picture, right? So they are the steps of how I want you to choose your word for 2026. And even if you're really struggling with this, or like if you do find you struggle with this, reach out to me. I'm happy to have a chat with you in the DMs to help you get a little bit more clearer or more clarity around this. And even another thing that you can do, like, I said before, intention is so powerful. Something that you could do is literally ask the universe. Like, ask the universe to bring you a word that you need to embody in 2026. And it'll show up in probably the most subtle or most obvious way. Like when you might see it written down somewhere. You might see it on a reel on Instagram. You might see it on TV when you're watching a show. You might see it like it might be in a conversation with a friend that you have. Like however it shows up, just allow that to be okay. And yeah, if you don't ask, you won't be given the answer. It's just like, you know, the book, if you've ever read, like ask and it is given. Like the universe, like the universal intelligence, and like whatever you believe in, whether it's source, God, universe, like it is always listening. And so set that intention and ask the universe to bring it to you if you're, you know, really struggling to choose a word for the year, right? So create a bit of a plan. So once you've chosen your word, create a little bit of a plan of how you are going to embody your word, right? Like this isn't just something that's a set and forget, right? This is something that you choose and you come back to time and time again. So create a plan of how you are going to set yourself up for success to embody your word. Even looking at, like, within this plan, like, what's preventing me right now from embodying this work? Because that straight away is going to tell you what you possibly or potentially need to work on in order to embody that. Because I'm telling you right now, like I shared with, you know, my words for 2025, intention and flow, I felt like like where I am now compared to a year ago, like I didn't honestly truly think, I did not think that there was going to be so many layers to peel back, new beliefs to create, identity shifts that I've needed to really have, and mindset shifts that I've needed to have to actually be able to embody these words, right? And like I've reached a level of embodiment that I'd never even thought possible. And, you know, again, like I said before, I know that there's even deeper levels of embodiment for this as well. But I'm so content with the progress that I've had throughout this year and so proud of how I've used these words to embody, you know, everything that I've done in my life over the last year, right? And I just lost my train of thought. So the how, you know, identifying what's stopping you right now from embodying that word can actually tell you what you possibly need to work on, and the layers that you might need to uncover, the beliefs, the limiting beliefs that you may need to overcome, the mindset shifts that you need to create, and, you know, the identity shifts that you may need to create in order to embody this. Because as you know, mindset is fucking everything. Everything. Like our subconscious mind controls every single thing in our life. If we do not get our subconscious mind on board with the changes that we are wanting to make, no matter what area of life it is in relation to, we simply will not achieve that goal or that whatever it is that we're trying to do or create or have or do or be, right? You simply will not. When you work on your mindset, like the clients that I've had the privilege to work with this year, and I am like deeply grateful, is like so powerful. Like it's like the shifts that I've witnessed within my clients this year from the mindset work and working on subconscious programming and all those things, it is fucking insane what is possible. And, you know, let this be a sign for you. If right now you're struggling to, you know, if every single year over the last 3 or 4 years you've told yourself, new year, new me, you know, from January 1st, I'm going to start again, I'm going to do this. Or right now you're telling yourself at the end of 2025, I'll wait until 2026 to do this. Like if that is you right now, this is a sign that if nothing changes, and you need to do something differently to, like I said before, create a different outcome. So if you're wanting to find out more about mindset method, which is my sacred one-on-one coaching space for deep life and mindset shifts, send me a DM and let's schedule in a free initial call where we can chat further and explore it and really allow me to understand where you're at in your journey, what your goals are, what's what's, getting in your way, and really have a look at how mindset method and doing the mindset work and that deep inner work can really transform your life on every single fucking level. So if you're listening to this right now and you're feeling that little bit of a nudge, please follow it, because it is your highest self guiding you to the highest version of you, to your next level. So please listen to it, because every time I've listened to that intuitive nudge, that pull, that deep inner knowing, even when it felt fucking uncomfortable or fear come up, it has led me to such profound fucking, what's the word I'm looking for? Just changes, like growth is the word I'm looking for. So follow that nudge and allow yourself to experience how good life can get when you do the inner work and work on your mindset, right? So I went on a bit of a tangent there and kind of went off course, but let's come back. So creating the plan for the word that you're going to embody in 2026, right? So, because it's not a set and forget, like I said before. So really looking at, how can I set myself up for the most success? Is this maybe setting in your calendar a monthly check-in with where you can look at, how you embodied that word this month, what got in the way, what could I do differently next month, right? Or could it be, even looking at to paint the picture even deeper for you. Like if I fully embodied this word, how would my days look different? Like what would that look like? So getting that crystal clear clarity on that, because if you don't know where you're moving to and you don't have that clear vision, you're not going to get there. It's just like when I speak about goals, it's like if you're in the car and you're driving somewhere, right? You're putting in maps the destination, right? If you don't know the exact address of where you're going, maps is not going to fucking take you there. So same with your goals and your vision. If you don't know what the destination looks like, feels like, all of those sorts of things, you're never going to get there. You have to have that clarity around that, right? Even thinking about what habits or patterns do I need to release in order to step into this energy? Like, even reflecting on where in my body do I feel misaligned with this word right now? Like, what does it need in order to shift that? And, on another layer of that, what support or structure or even boundaries would help me embody this word? And like I said before as well, around identity, what identity shift does this word ask of me? That is a powerful fucking question. And if this, I feel like I'm just vomiting out so much gold, word vomit in this podcast episode today, which is so valuable. So if you need to listen to this a second time or pause me and go back and write down, what I've just literally poured out, do so that you can allow it to really help set you up for success in, 2026 and even beyond, right? And then even off the back of that, in terms of actually embodying the word and not it just being something that you set and forget, can you put this word somewhere where you see it daily, right? For me, I think it was, it wasn't January 1st. I would be lying if I said that. I can't remember when it was, but I'm pretty sure it was January at some point. I had put these words as my background on my phone, my screensaver, and I'd also written it on my mirror to remind me, so I'd see it every day, right? It's training my reticular activating system to focus on where I want to put my energy, right? And could it be something like I said, a monthly check-in or a weekly journal? How did I embody my word for this week? Or could it be even whether it's setting your phone screensaver or your computer screensaver or writing it on a mirror or putting something out and sticking it on your mirror? Could it be creating that visual, maybe even, instead of just having the words, creating the picture of what that looks like as well, right? Something else that you could even keep in mind when really thinking about this, how you're going to actually embody the word, is choose maybe it's 2 to 3 habits that reinforces the word, right? Choose 2 to 3 habits that reinforce the word that you want to embody, right? And then off the back of that, like choose one thing to stop doing that contradicts the word that you're trying to embody, right? Like this is, like I said, I'm going to say it again. This is not just a set and forget. Like this is a year-long fucking activation. Like allow it and let it be an initiation into your next level, right? And even like, you know, like when you're thinking of your word, like maybe you're listening to me and you've already like through today's episode, you're already like, oh, I feel like this word's, you know, something that I really want to, like, this is my word for 2026. Or maybe you've got like a couple of ideas, but you're not too sure. Like, this is just a reminder that the word doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to feel like truth in your body, right? And, you know, even normalizing that sometimes like embodying a word, like sometimes this requires deep healing or like identity work, like AKA mindset and subconscious work, right? Like that is a part of the magic. And honestly, like challenges and lessons and barriers are not something to be ashamed of or to fight yourself over or be hard on yourself about, because when you shift your perspective and actually look at these things that are coming up on your journey, they're actually showing you what needs to change in order to grow, right? Every fucking challenge that comes your way is an invitation, an opportunity, and an initiation into the version of you that you are meant to be. The more and more that you have resistance with these challenges that come up in your life, the more that you're going to stay stuck and circle around in those same old behaviors and patterns that don't serve the version of you that you know that you are meant to be, right? So I feel like I've poured out so much wisdom in today's episode. I would even love to hear, like, I invite you to DM me your word for the year, whether you already know what that is from today's episode, or maybe you spend some time, you know, reflecting and really, you know, going through everything I spoke about in today's episode to really gain that clarity around what the word is. Like, when you know what it is, I want you to DM me the word. I want to hear your words for 2026 and what you are going to embody, right? And even like if you have any like insights, mindset shifts or reflections or anything that you have from listening to today's episode, send me a DM. I want to hear it. Like nothing lights me up more than hearing from you guys and the incredible shifts that you guys have just from these podcast episodes. And it makes me so deeply grateful and inspired and just passionate to keep producing this, you know, as a free content platform, like to keep producing these episodes to give you guys so much value to help you transcend and transform and ultimately change your fucking life, right? So your final reminder that the word you choose for 2026 will guide your identity, your energy, and even your evolution in 2026. And let that, what was I going to say there? Let that create your evolution in 2026. I don't know if that's what I was going to say, but that is what I'm going to leave you with for today's episode. And I will see you on the next episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if you found this insightful and you're enjoying the episodes on the podcast, I would be so deeply grateful if you would take literally 1 second out of your day to rate the podcast, to write a review, even post it on your stories and share an episode that really landed with you and tag me, or send it to a friend that you feel needed to hear it, or a family member. Because the more like that, by doing that, it really allows me to reach even more ears of incredible women just like you to be able to create an even deeper impact on an even wider scale. So I'm so grateful for you being here and for your presence and for you showing up for yourself and doing the work to step into the next level you. So I will see you on the next episode. Have an amazing rest of your day.